Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. My name is Harry Boyd Carpenter. I'm the Director for Climate at the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. You will have heard a lot, especially today, about country platforms. The MDB statement that was released today talked about it. Dr. Sultan has talked about it. And we think we all recognize that it's a very powerful tool, a very powerful mechanism for creating the sort of change and the sort of investment we all want to see. At the same time, we don't want to just talk about platforms. We like to do platforms. We like to be involved in platforms. And so we're very pleased that today the Republic of North Macedonia is launching its Just Energy Transition Investment Partnership. At EBRD, we're very proud and very pleased to be supporting North Macedonia in this, and very pleased to be with so many partners this evening to show that support and to document that support. So we're just going to start with brief opening remarks from Odile Renaud-Bassot, the President of EBRD, and then hand over to Minister Bekteshi from the Republic of North Macedonia to set out the outlines of this, and then invite each partner in this in the partnership to talk briefly about their support. Madam Odile.
Thank you, Harry. And very nice to see you all here. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really delighted to welcome you today to the launch of this platform to accelerate a just energy transition in North Macedonia. I'm particularly pleased to co-host the event with the Ministers of Economy as well as Environment and Physical Planning, who have been true champions and partners of this low-carbon transition agenda in the country. The impetus for this reform has been provided by North Macedonia's high-level political commitment to the green growth transition. In 2021, North Macedonia made an ambitious pledge in its enhanced national determined contribution. The pledge was to reduce net greenhouse gas emission by 82% by 2030 compared with 1990 levels. This pledge, once implemented, will make the national economy more competitive, more resilient. It will result in positive health outcomes and open up new opportunities for all, including those who have been most affected by the changes in labor markets and minimize risk of stranded assets. It will better anchor North Macedonia to international supply chain and investor flows. It will foster the adoption of state-of-the-art technologies. The energy sector is at the heart of this transformation, given its major contribution to North Macedonia emissions today. This transition will require a holistic approach covering private and public sector infrastructure development, policy, and technical assistance. The country platform vision that North Macedonia is launching signals a national climate ambition. It will help mobilize investments, accelerate delivery, and increase efficiencies through coordination. This platform will provide a strategic approach to meet national needs and targets and enhance the resilience of North Macedonia's national human capital. It will aim to ensure that the green economy transition benefits are shared and vulnerable individuals and regions are protected. So that's why it's also a just transition approach. As all this requires lasting partnerships with international community and donor support. And I'm very happy to see many institutional esteemed colleagues in these rooms: the European Commission, the World Bank, the EIB, the IFC, KfW, CEB, and CDP, as well as donor representatives and philanthropies. I'm also pleased to see the representation of the climate investment funds, whose invitation for North Macedonia to join the accelerated coal transition program helped to kickstart many of these processes. The EBRD has been supporting just transition in North Macedonia, including through financing solar PV on coal mine sites and workforce reskilling. We also aid economic diversification of coal regions through SME financing and support household energy efficiency retrofits. Building on this experience, we will seek to contribute to the implementation of this platform with over 300 million of financing by 2030 and support to the government in the coordination efforts. The platform can serve an example for similar initiatives in the Western Balkans and beyond. With this, I will pass the floor to His Excellency Minister Bekkeshi, to introduce the platform. The floor is yours, Minister.
Hi everyone. First and foremost, I would like to thank you for the great interest you are having for North Macedonia. And on behalf of the Republic of North Macedonia, I would like to express my gratitude to Ms. Renaud Basso for the EBRD support in the development of the platform and convening the founding partners of the initiative. I am very pleased to see a number of IFEs, the FIs, EU, CIF, as well as country representatives and philanthropists present in this room. Therefore, I would like to go through the slides in order to present the platform of North Macedonia when it comes to the just energy transition investment platforms, which would be very soon in the beginning of next year provided to the interested parties together with the EBRD. Therefore, in the first slide, if we can go with the slides. Here?
I will do it for you.
Okay. You can see the context of North Macedonia. As mentioned by Madam President, North Macedonia has an ambitious NDC target of 82% of net greenhouse gas emissions reduction by 2030, which would correspond to an absolute emission reduction of 7.6 million tons in 2030 compared to BAU. Therefore, the core action to achieve, even though part of it has already been started in North Macedonia, it was presented in its opening remarks by the President, is that within the existing thermal power plants, with a capacity of more than around 700 and something megawatts, which are two in our country. One is Oslome and the other one is Bitola, with a capacity of 639 megawatts in Bitola and 125 megawatts in Oslome, in order to make the transition first and foremost within those sites. What does it mean and what is foreseen within the strategy in order to develop the energy in North Macedonia is that the old mines capacities to be used as a potential locations and regions in order to fully be transformed in renewables. Therefore, the first project was started with EBRD, where we had the opportunity in order to have a 10 megawatt capacity installed in the old mines which were exploited by the thermal power plants for the needs in order to produce electricity. So 40% of the country's electricity is generated by coal, and at the moment that percentage is decreasing, but based on the goals that we have set within our strategy together with the Ministry of Environment, we have to accelerate that progress so that we achieve it as soon as possible. So our target would be that 38% of the share of the electricity in the gross final energy consumption within North Macedonia to come from renewable sources of energy. So this graph or this chart in 2030, I think it will have huge changes. And in order to do so and to go towards those changes, in order to change fully the chart, we would really ask the help of our strategic partners. And when I'm mentioning strategic partners, here I for sure think for the financial institutions, but also the partners as it is the European Commission and the Directorate Generals which are working in it. So beside of the transition within the energy sector, including especially the transformation of the thermal power plants into renewable regions and locations, we are very committed in order to go through the social aspect of the employees which are at the moment engaged within those regions. Beside the economical interest, the social aspect of this investment platform would be in order to invest and attract investors in those regions, so that the employees which are already in the thermal power plants to have the opportunity to requalify and be able in order to be in the labor market in other industries, but also to provide those regions with more opportunities in order to make investments in energy efficiency, so to decrease even the consumption of electricity. Beside it, the storage capacities, which is an ongoing process when it comes to the legislation in North Macedonia, is of a crucial importance in order to have the possibility to balance the system and grid. We don't have any storage capacities in North Macedonia at the moment, but when we are talking for North Macedonia, we have to take in consideration that in the Western Balkans, overall, there are no storage capacities which can balance the system without having hydropower potential, but also thermal power potentials, which at the moment is a core sector in order to generate electricity in that region of the EU. I will ask if we can go to the second slide. So, regarding the platform, the main focus would be an holistic approach, which would have the full support to the green and just energy transition. Therefore, the decommission part, as already explained in the first slide, would intend in order to replace the coal-fired power plants by 2030. And this approach has already started as a process, but in order to do so, for sure, we will need investors and donors in order to make it fully and to have it on time by 2030. The capacity would be around 764 megawatts capacity, which it's the main core of generation of electricity at the moment in our country. So in order to go and full make the transition, not only for the market in North Macedonia, but become a player also on regional level. At the moment, within the strategy for energy development, which is adopted in our country, we have set up a target of 1.7 gigawatt capacities of renewables. And this would be a mix of solar, wind, and less hydro potential. And when we are talking for solar, till the moment we are discussing, we have achieved it in the last 2.5 years to have a capacity, including the private sector, through auctions and through direct investments from the private sector, of a capacity of more than 600 megawatts capacity. So there is a huge pool in North Macedonia for the upcoming 6 years of a capacity of more than 1,000 megawatts in order to be installed based on the capacity that the grid at the moment can absorb, so that those can be connected within the grid and afterwards for sure put on the market. So I mentioned the social aspect of the platform of the chain of the workers and communities in the regions where the thermal power plants are located, and based on the investments that we would seek in order to get would be 3 billion mobilized from the private and MDB investments. We have planned in order to have 285 million in grants and concessional fees, but also to unlock the investment barriers we, as North Macedonia, have started a process, especially with the EBRD, World Bank, and IFC, but also with other stakeholders as well, in order to have a technical assistance to come up with competitive procedures so that the private investor has the same opportunity and possibility in order to make investments in the energy sector in North Macedonia. But beside this, we're based on the competitiveness in order to achieve better prices when it comes to the energy overall in our country. So in order to sum up, I would like at the end to thank also the Commission, all the stakeholders, especially EBRD, for the continuous support they are providing for our country. North Macedonia is a strong partner to these institutions with the same goal that the European Union, but also the world is having at the moment, in order to reduce the greenhouse emissions, but also the pollution, and to have a more resilient, sustainable energy sector, which would increase the security, but also would give a huge impact when it comes to the climate change. We are facing a turbulent period in the European Union especially, but also globally. Therefore, beside the North Path, we are ready as North Macedonia to be your partner in order to diversify the sources and to be also the South Path and the route in order to supply the European Union and our partners, where we think very soon will be fully integrated. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister. You mentioned how important the European Commission in all of this, so I'd be delighted to welcome Jan Koopman, who's the Director General of DG NEAR at the European Commission, to say a few words. Mr. Koopman.
Dear Minister, dear President, dear friends, colleagues, let me first of all say that I'm delighted to be able to participate in this event, which I think showcases again the great determination of North Macedonia to move forward on its EU accession path, to modernize its energy system as part of that path, but also more widely as part of its economic development going forward. I think it is hard to underestimate, to overestimate, apologies, it's hard to overestimate how much has been achieved on this accession path over the past years. The commitment to this path has led the country to change its name, has led the country to sign up to making constitutional changes to reassure some of its neighbors. And also it has led the country to very vigorously embrace a process of screening its legislation and modernizing its regulatory rule books, preparing for accession. So we're now at a point where basically the process is over. We're waiting for a very important decision by the country to introduce these constitutional changes, but in principle all systems are ready to go, and we very much hope that we can move forward very fast. I'm saying that because for investors in energy and for the just energy transition, of course, the context in which the country works is absolutely fundamental. Now, we also bring support, not just in terms of our ties with the administration through the regulatory field, but also financially. And I want to underline that so far, under the economic and investment plans, the EU has contributed some 100 million euros in grants for the energy system, which through our partners, the EBRD, the EIB, has leveraged about 270 million euros of investments. I think it always depends a little bit how you calibrate it, but a significant part of that, notably 37 million euros of the grants, have definitely been targeting just transition elements. And the 80 million euros that we made available last year under the energy support package to offset the impact of very high energy prices is definitely also a good illustration what we mean by just transition, because obviously this cannot go at the expense of citizens. Now, at this juncture, in addition to the ambitious enlargement track, we have also adopted a proposal for a growth plan for the Western Balkans that came out on the 8th of November alongside the enlargement package. Its aim is bold, to do two things: to double the size of the Western Balkans economies in the next 10 years, and secondly, to accelerate the accession process. It's based on the same logic that we apply in the EU for the Recovery and Resilience Facility for our own modernization, which is to make available significant funding for crucial reforms with ex-ante conditionality and the necessary investments. So that means, in the case of North Macedonia, focusing very much on reforms in the fundamentals, fight against corruption, looking at state-owned enterprises, improving the business environment, and that will be translated into very concrete measures. But also, I should say, investing very heavily in the energy transition, which has been identified as a critical element. And with an envelope of very roughly €1 billion in grants and loans, a significant part of the investments could flow into the energy and the digital transitions. Half of this money would run through a framework that we have set up together with our IFI partners, the Western Balkans Investment Framework. So half of the 1 billion in the case of North Macedonia would flow into that fund. And as I said, a significant chunk of that fund should really be devoted to accelerating the energy transition and reforming the energy markets. We've just seen the incredible progress achieved through the platform, the identification of, I think, a very ambitious roadmap for investments in the energy system. We would, through this growth plan, be able to contribute very substantial support with the help of our partners. And if, therefore, North Macedonia continues to deliver so ambitiously on its accession track, I'm sure it will not only get much closer to the EU, but it will also help decarbonize its economy. And the ambitious targets set for 2030 then actually are looking very much within reach. So I want to congratulate the Minister, North Macedonia, our IFI partners, and especially the EBRD for pulling this all together. We are at the start of what I think could be a very exciting period in the Western Balkans. Difficult times are behind us. We now need to take the last steps, accelerate the accession process, and move on decarbonization and just transition. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We always acknowledge that key to a country platform is donor finance to provide the critical support for the hard-to-finance things. And so we're very pleased to have Luis Tineo, the Interim Director of the Climate Investment Fund, here to say a few words about the CIF ACT support.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having us here. The CIF is a critical partner, together with the EBRD, the government, the World Bank, and the many others who are participating in the EU. The platform, of course, we are very pleased to be part of it. We are providing the concessional finance that is very critical to mobilize then the resources that the EBRD, the World Bank, and others are putting here together. In our estimation, we are probably with this concessional finance, we will mobilize about, for every dollar that we will put, about $9 will come into this platform. I'm very pleased to say that North Macedonia will join an effort by the CIF of supporting 6 countries, and those are the critical ones in the fight for climate change. This includes, it's an important club. It includes India, Indonesia, South Africa, the Dominican Republic, the Philippines, and hopefully North Macedonia will join us early next year. I'd like to highlight 3 things because many things have been said here, but let me consolidate 3 messages. One is the importance of concessional finance to mobilize and unlock the many resources that are required. And I think that the CIF is a good partner in this effort. The second part is working with the MDBs, because in reducing the transaction cost, facilitating the technical assistance, the ultimate knowledge required, and the support that the country needs to organize a complex reform, I believe that the MDBs play an important role. The third part is that you cannot do this alone. You need to bring, all partners. And I think that the idea of bringing it, you call it a platform, we call it investment plan, whatever name we have for that, it involves, a coherent, effort at, introducing the set of reforms, introducing the financing required, and then the implementation support. So I feel like these three elements are coming together in the case of North Macedonia. Similarly, is an important effort in the context of the JETP ambition. So we are very pleased to be part of this. I would say that we look forward to this investment plan. Our stakeholders, are looking forward to that, and please count on us for the remaining of the effort and the implementation, which I think that looks very promising. Your second slide, Mr. Minister, was very impressive. It covers, all the elements, not just the decommissioning. It takes care also of the transition into the renewable energy side, and as importantly, the transition in terms of communities and society at large. The beneficiaries of the program, are significantly large, and I think that is a very promising effort that will attract important resources and important partners. So I welcome the signature of the declaration, and again, I like to thank our partners, EBRD, World Bank, the EU, and others. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Luis, and thank you in particular for signaling the importance of a support for a just transition. That's perhaps the most important component of this. North Macedonia has many friends and many supporters. We're delighted to have you all here, and I'd like to just invite you now to each in turn say a few words. Thomas Ostros, if we could start as the Vice President of European Investment Bank.
Thank you so much, Minister Odile, ladies and gentlemen. We are happy to sign this platform, and we are also very grateful for the work done by Macedonian authorities, DG NER and EBRD, to take the lead in this example. It could be the trailblazer for how we work on these issues going forward. And of course, EIB is a climate bank heavily involved in energy transition. Last year, we invested about 19 billion euros in renewable energy, energy efficiency, and grids. So we are very much eager to be a partner in your transition going forward. We work also on just transition efforts in the region, gaining experience in Greece, for instance, where we are working very tightly with authorities and private sector to support the transition away from non-sustainable mining activities, for instance, going into new businesses and new opportunities. We are happy to also present in a couple of days our new strategy on just energy transition outside EU under EIB Global. So in 2 days, the 5th of December, we will reveal how we will work even deeper on this going forward. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and we look forward to partner up with the North Macedonian authorities going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas, and we continue the Team Europe theme, and I'm delighted to say that, especially as an Englishman. Andrea Hauser from the Management Board of KfW.
Hello, everybody. To be clear, it's KfW Development Bank, because the group has another board, just to make sure you're talking to the right person. Well, a lot has already been said, but as KfW, we are also very happy to support this country platform, because North Macedonia is a very important partner for us in the Western Balkans. We financed the first wind park in the region together with ESM back in 2014, and today we have a portfolio of around 300 million in this area. And that's, you already mentioned your very ambitious goals, and for us, we think to reach these ambitious goals, implementation now is key. And successful and quick implementation needs joint efforts of governments, of the European Union, of MDBs, of DFIs. And I think this joint effort is reflected in this joint declaration, and we're really happy to sign this today. And besides this, perhaps this platform is also an opportunity to increase our cooperation in the region in order to tackle these huge challenges ahead of us. Thanks a lot.
And then if I can invite Thomas Eriksson, Director at the Council of Europe Development Bank.
Thank you very much, everyone, Minister, development partners, and the many friends of North Macedonia. Also very honored and pleased on behalf of the Council of Europe Development Bank to join the platform. North Macedonia is, of course, a very important target country for the CB. We have a long and deep partnership and many projects that we work on together. And like others here, we support, of course, the platform in general as well, as it is a testament for how we can actually pull our efforts together, all of us, MDBs, government, other partners, to maximize impact, clearly. From our side, we are a social development bank. Our focus is social inclusion, social cohesion. And in this platform, it translates to just transition, as we have already talked about here. That is to ensure that the work that we do benefits everyone. It reaches everyone, and it leaves no one behind. It provides support to those that are at risk of potentially losing jobs, changing their livelihoods. With that, I look forward to working together with all of you to now move to delivering on this platform. So thank you so much.
Now I'd invite Giorgio Massotti, who is a director at the Cassa Depositi e Prestiti. I was determined to say that, not just CDP, to give you a full title.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Dear Minister and dear President and colleagues from international financial institutions, fellow MDBs and fellows DFIs. First and foremost, please allow me to say that I'm delighted. It's a great pleasure for me, in representation of Cassa Depositi e Prestiti, CDP, to be here today. As you know, CDP is Italy's national promotional institution and Italy's international development finance institution. And in this capacity, we are delighted and honored to join today the North Macedonia Just Energy Transition Investment Platform. I would like to emphasize that the Western Balkans region is indeed a priority region for CDP, and we are in the process also of establishing local presence in the region in order to be more effective in our action towards innovative and high-impact projects. And this platform is really, for us, an important occasion to deploy also to support the deployment of our strategy on climate. Climate energy transition is indeed at the core of CDP's strategy, both on domestic and international market. And therefore, in this context, obviously we can act as a provider of financial resources, in terms of patient capital, but also we can act also as what we call the bridge builder, building a bridge between Italy and our partner countries like North Macedonia, so that we do not only provide patient capital, but we provide also a gateway, an ability also to put in contact the productive systems of the two countries, so that we can have a win-win partnerships towards supporting the decarbonization. And Minister Bekteshi, you mentioned the just transition and the economic diversification that is required as part of this effort. We're also obviously ready to support actively this effort. It's very important. It's the just element of this partnership and platform is super important also for CDP. We will be happy to contribute to that, sharing our best practices, putting, as I said, in contact our productive system with the North Macedonian. And finally, just a last word to say that our commitment as part of our commitment towards our neighboring countries and our Mediterranean and the Western Balkan region is really the heart of our strategy. So thank you very much. We're very much looking forward to working closely together with the North Macedonian government, our partners, and Thank you.
Thank you, Giorgio. So we turn to the honorary members of Team Europe, and I'd like to invite Catherine Coe, the infrastructure lead for the global climate lead for infrastructure at the International Finance Corporation, to talk a little bit about how you and we are going to work so collaboratively, to mobilize private finance for this.
Thank you very much. I'm very glad and honored to be here today to express IFC's full support for the North Macedonia Just Energy Transition Investment Platform. Energy transition is at the heart of IFC's development and climate agenda. Over the past 10 years, IFC has invested in close to 23 gigawatt of renewable energy around the world, including in Europe, to accelerate clean energy transition and to increase access to electricity. We finance first of its kind type of projects to open new markets and then scale it up and replicate the success. We also work with the utilities and financial institutions to finance transmission and distribution investment to support network resilience and incorporation of renewable energy, as well as battery and energy storage solutions. Fully drawing upon our experience and global network of partnerships, IFC can provide enabling advisory services for the government, project developers, and other partners to ensure the regulatory environment are conducive to attracting private capital and to support that projects are structured with a risk management and allocation that can lead to financing. We will do such work with an aim for IFC to eventually provide financing out of its own account, but also mobilize other financiers. Mobilizing donors for blended finance will be a critical component of this mobilization, where IFC plans to play a key role. Our global sector expertise and experience from other markets in similar situation is a key source of our value add. The just transition element in this program is a critical component, and leveraging our extensive experience of working with the mining and energy companies around the world, globally, we can support the government and project developers in managing environmental and social risk and engaging with and supporting communities. This platform is important to scale up climate finance for the country's decarbonization in a more systematic manner, and IFC is a part of the World Bank Group. We are very, very glad to participate in this platform. We'll leverage this platform to scale up climate finance for the country and do more. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. And then finally, of course, the largest of all of us, the World Bank, who I'm delighted to invite Charles Cormier to come to the table.
So, dear Minister, dear President, Excellencies, friends of North Macedonia, great to be here. And I wanted to say on behalf of the World Bank that we're quite pleased that and wanted to commend the leadership of the government of North Macedonia to take on this very large task, is essentially to phase out coal by 2030, to do it in a just way, taking into account communities and workers, but also to look at energy security. And you've talked about the scale up of 1.7 gigawatts. Coming from a region that's had a huge price shock last year, we cannot forget the energy security angle, and I think that part is really critical. And I really liked your approach to, let's say, do competitive bidding so that you can actually get prices as affordable as possible for the community. So very great initiative. This is pretty much consistent with the country partnership framework we have with North Macedonia. It's a framework that covers 5 years. It goes from FY24 to 28, where we're looking to help you on your green transition. I also wanted to say that the coal phase-out is really critical, and your leadership is important in the Western Balkans, a region that is coal-dependent. We are at the moment working on the country climate development report, which essentially tries to look at how do countries meet their climate objectives, but also their development objectives. And coal phase-out is really important, so it's quite critical. We're happy to work with EBRD under the leadership of EBRD on the climate investment framework investment plan. Great to see the CIFs participate and recognize North Macedonia as a leader. I wanted to say, what do we bring to that? The World Bank, of course, has global experience, and we've been working on just transition, and so looking how do we repurpose the coal assets to use renewables, but also perhaps other land uses. We bring some global knowledge. We've worked across the world, thinking of South Africa, Indonesia, even Poland, and so we hope to be able to share those experiences with you. I think that it's important to look at how do you do energy storage, so pump storage and chemical storage, as we talked about. So we hope to bring you those experiences. And the last point is I heard from the Commission this morning, right now, that you want to double the size of the economy within 10 years. So the other aspect, of course, of clean transition is to use energy efficiently and to use it, optimally. And great that you're working on energy efficiency as well, and the World Bank is working with you on energy efficiency programs. So I wanted to say that. Finally, I wanted to say that at the World Bank, we're in the midst of our shareholders have been asking us to let's say, accelerate our ambition, and we are doing an evolution roadmap, and part of it is how do we scale and how do we achieve impact, in particular in global public goods, including clean energy transition. So we are about to announce multi-phase approaches for renewable energy efficiency, and happy to work with partners on that, and you'll see more from that. But congratulations on this great leadership, but also the platform I think is quite important, relevant for all of us, so we're looking forward to participating with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I mean, Your Excellencies, you've chosen a very ambitious and very challenging transition. It's not going to be easy, but I hope the strength of support you witness gives you the confidence to proceed and to know that in this difficult road there will always be a lot of money and a lot of people and a lot of expertise to support you. Country platforms are country-led, and so it's very important to us that we conclude with the Minister of Environment and Physical Planning, Mrs. Kaya Shukova. We talked at the beginning about how the genesis of this is your very ambitious nationally determined contribution, and thank you for that.
Well, after so many kind words, it's not so easy to summarize the event. But I think that since all of us saw so many commitments and dedication, I think that I should start with one sentence. By acting together, we achieve more. I see so many partners today on the Republic of North Macedonia and to the government. And thank you for all of you, first of all, for the kind words and support to the government. But I think that we have done a lot. And that's why probably we have the support. What to see, we are a very small country, but we made strategic decisions, and we are very ambitious regarding definitely in these two areas, energy and environment. And today's signing ceremony proves and appreciates that this is the right policies and the right direction of our government, and we will continue in this manner. And we will continue to show that we have a vision, and even the ambitions is probably high, but I don't think that the targets are not achievable, and that we should continue to do our best. And our ambitions will not stop here, because by signing this platform, we are targeting the most significant source of greenhouse gas emissions in the country, for one side. But also we are targeting the sector with the best social impact, since that the maximum number of the green jobs is green scenario will be raised. And I think that I can conclude that ambitious policies are more that we needed. The path to European Union for North Macedonia, as we can hear even on this event, is something that is lasting too long. We are hoping that the process will be closed very soon, and we are hoping that we'll be partner to the other countries in Europe, but also partner to the other countries in the Western Balkan. We can do so much more, but we can do so much more with all our partners. We have a lot of the partners today. Thank you on behalf of the government. Thank you on behalf of the two ministries, Ministry of Economy and Ministry of Environment, that you help us a lot, and we will prove at the end that we have right policies and that we are going in right directions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So we're just going to now invite all of you to sign the declaration of support. Now, you have so many supporters that it's quite complicated logistics in a small room. So if you can just bear aware, I'm under Isabel's control on this, but I think if we invite Odile and Minister Bekteshi to sign first, and then if you... And then if you're happy to just sort of stand here and we'll bring Thomas, if you and Lewis are... Good, thanks. And then Andrea and Thomas. Giorgio and Charles.
Soon we are going to be.
We'll bring the next 10 in now, you know. Catherine, do you want to? If you all want to stand up, maybe we'll just get them.